Hello everyone, welcome back to James Segue Media. I'm James, and this month's book is The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho.
Alright, hello everyone, welcome back to James Segue Media. My name is James, and first and foremost I want to say thank you so much for your continued support, and I hope in the face of the current global pandemic you are staying home and staying safe. So with all that being said, we still want to bring you the James Segue Media, however we'll do things a little bit differently. In the interest of personal safety, we'll keep social distancing, and we'll let you guys know in the near future exactly how we plan to hold this class. In the meantime, there's something you guys can do. The next class will be over a month away at time of recording, and we think that is just enough time for you guys to read one of my personal favorite books of all time, that is Paulo Coelho's The Alchemist, or in Japanese, Alchemist. So The Alchemist is a novel that was published in 1988 by Brazilian author Paulo Coelho. But in some ways, it's also a non-fiction book because it talks about the human condition. The theme is about pursuing your dreams, no matter what they are, and never letting anyone or anything get in the way. It's a universal theme that I think everyone can relate to, and this is the main reason that I chose this book. I think anybody of any age, any culture, any belief, and any reading experience can relate to this book. It's short and digestible, but detailed and coherent. There's even a reference to the night being darkest just before the dawn, a message of hope about getting through the bad times in our lives, and this was used as a line in The Dark Knight. There's also a reference to a mythical object they call the Philosopher's Stone, which in the English version is the subtitle to the very first Harry Potter book. So what this shows is that the beats and the tropes of this one book are constantly being reworked into other super popular works of our time. And a lot of creatives that we know and love likely had help or inspiration from this very book. There are also a lot of mythological elements in the story. There are trials, tribulations, and ultimately an important life lesson. The journey begins with a boy named Santiago, but finishes with a man. And during this journey, he learns to listen to his heart and follow the signs he sees around him. It's amazing to me that something can be universal and personal at the same time. How everyone can relate to this book, but then take the story and relate it to their own personal lives in their own private way, to become a better person than they were before, both for themselves and the community around them. Needless to say, it's an overwhelmingly positive message, and one that I think should be mandatory reading for anybody interested. Its messages may be simple, but those are the ones that we often take for granted, and it helps to be reminded of them from time to time. I can think of no better example of that than The Alchemist. So since we're all staying home and staying safe, I wanted to recommend this gem to all of you. And this time, when we take the class, we won't delve into this particular story as such. Rather, I'd like to hear the effect that it had on you, and how you personally related to the story of young Santiago and his pursuit of treasure. And so with that, here's a few questions for you to consider. Number 1, how did you personally relate to Santiago on this journey? Number 2, the back of the book says, to realize one's destiny is a person's only obligation, which is really the core message of this book. So from this point in your life, and after reading this book and hopefully taking some inspiration, how will you act to fulfill your destiny? And number 3, did this story remind you of any of your own personal favorite stories, much like how it reminded me of The Dark Knight or of Harry Potter? Finally, of course, if you are inclined, you are welcome to read the English version of this book. The copy that I have even has notes on how to easily break down each sentence for Japanese. But this is, of course, optional. The Japanese version will be sufficient enough. So with all that being said, of course this class will be a little more unorthodox considering the situation we're all in, and I will be asking you to dig a little deeper than usual, but please don't feel too much pressure. The class may be a little different, but the same rules apply as always. There are no wrong answers, just tell us how you feel. So with all that being said, thank you all so much, and I'll see you next time. Stay safe. Hello everyone, welcome back to James Segue Media. I'm James, and this month's book will be The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. That's not his name.
What?
Paulo Coelho? Okay, right. Paulo Coelho. God damn it. Okay, next!